Is screen visible?
Yes, sir.
See, when it is asked to find the current in each element, until the end of the analysis, each element should be kept in the circuit as it is. I cannot go for any circuit reduction techniques. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Because we are asked to find out the current in each element. Now, if I take any circuit reduction technique, whether star delta transformation or series parallel combinations, taking R equivalent, doing something by source shifting or source transformation, whatever the exercise we may be doing, but ultimately I should make sure that the positions and the values and the existence of each element should be unaltered. So it means that I cannot touch the geometry of the circuit. Is it?
Yes, sir.
I simply cannot touch the geometry of the circuit. So now I need the new tools or methods to analyze the circuit as circuit is without changing the structure of the circuit or even by not taking its equivalence. Because if I want to take equivalent, all the elements will get consumed as one equivalent element. But I don't want that. And that is also not so easily possible with multiple sources existing in the circuit. If there is a single source, equivalent circuit can be very conveniently taken. Even with multiple sources, it can be taken. There are theorems for that. But in first place, I am talking. In first place, if I want to analyze the circuit as it is, then none of my reduction techniques will come for my help. I have to look into a different way of solving the circuit, and that new thing what we have to use is Kirchhoff's laws. So far we haven't used Kirchhoff's laws in any of the example. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Kirchhoff's laws. So Kirchhoff's laws are very conveniently applied and they are extremely useful in the circuits to be analyzed which have multiple number of loops with multiple number of sources, whether current source or voltage source. When there are multiple sources in the circuit, I have to take the help of Kirchhoff's laws. Only by mere application of Ohm's law will not get the solution done. So next we have to move to Kirchhoff's laws and application of Kirchhoff's laws to mesh current analysis. What are two laws? Kirchhoff's laws. First
Kirchhoff's
is
current law and voltage law.
Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Anybody can state Kirchhoff's current law? What is
The current
Kirchhoff's
entering
current?
the node is equal to the current leaving the node.
No, that is not Kirchhoff's current law. That is a result of Kirchhoff's current law.
Current meeting at a node is equal to 0.
Current
Meeting at a node is
The algebraic sum of current
The
meeting at
algebraic
node.
Yeah, somebody is telling algebraic sum. Yes, continue that.
The algebraic sum of current at meeting at a node is equals to 0.
Yeah. The algebraic sum of all the currents at a particular node or a junction is always 0. Okay. You should never forget the fundamental statements. Okay. The algebraic sum of all currents at a node at any node in a closed circuit. That is very much important. If the circuit is open, will there be any current? In a closed electric circuit, is 0. Okay, this is the fundamental statement. This is the fundamental statement. Okay, now what I will do, I will apply this to a node. Suppose I have a node. I think I need not to again define what is node, branch, and all those things. To a node, there are multiple branches connected. Okay, let there be currents I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. Okay. Now, when I should take the algebraic sum, you should also observe the direction. So summation I, okay, at node is equals to. Now how you will take the sum? Because all positive values will not give 0, all negative values will not give 0. So before I apply KCL to any node, first I should be defining the conventional direction consideration of the currents. So what I will do is, current entering the node is considered positive. Throughout this entire subject, I will be considering the same thing. Current entering the node is taken positive. Then current leaving the node is taken negative. So with this convention, please mark this convention. I will be following this convention throughout the subject. Okay. There is no harm even if I consider current entering negative and current leaving positive. There is no harm. Okay. But this is what convention I will follow, which is also there the same in my notes. So it will be helpful for you to have the comparison between notes and the class net content. Okay. Now, as per this convention, what are the positive currents? I1, I2, and I4 are the currents which are entering the node. They are flowing towards the node. They are positive. I3 and I5 are the currents which are leaving away from the node. They are negative. So, summation of the current at a node, okay, is equals to 0. This is as per the KCL. Okay, this is as per KCL. Now take the sum. Current I1 is entering the node. I'll take it as positive. Current I2 is entering the node. Positive. Current I3 is leaving the node. Negative. Current I4 is entering the node. Positive. Current I5 is leaving the node. Negative. Is equals to 0. This is as per KCL. Fine. Now, can I rearrange? Now what I will do is,
Yes, sir.
I1 plus I2 plus I5 is equals to, sorry, not I5. I1 plus I2 plus I4 is equals to I3 plus I5. What this
I5
indicates, the algebraic sum of all incoming currents are equal to algebraic sum of all outgoing currents. See, this is the result of KCL, not KCL. Many a times, even the books will follow the statement. Many a times, when you say this as answer for statement of KCL is accepted, but always we should be coming to the conclusions from the fundamental statements. We cannot make conclusions themselves as fundamental statements. Okay, I came to this point only when I applied fundamental statement to this node and I got this result. Hence I conclude, from this I conclude, sum of incoming currents is equals to sum of outgoing current. Sum of incoming current equal to sum of outgoing current. Okay, please don't say this itself as the KCL statement. Okay, now is there any possibility that I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus so on plus IN is equals to 0 with all the currents positive, or minus I1 minus I2 minus I3 minus so on minus IN is equals to 0?
No, sir.
Is there any possibility that if all the currents are positive then the sum is 0, or if all the currents are negative and the sum is 0?
No, sir.
Yes? No, these possibilities will never exist. And one thing you should always remember, guys, minus sign for the current or voltage is always the direction. Getting my point? Minus I1 means that the current is opposite to the assumed positive direction. That's it. The magnitude of the current cannot be negative. It is only the minus sign which is indicating or telling us the direction of that current in a particular element. Okay. The magnitude of current cannot be less than 0. Either it can be 0 or greater than 0. Okay. Either it can be 0 or greater than 0. Okay. The magnitude of the current cannot be less than 0 because it is a magnitude. Okay. Minus always indicates direction. Minus always indicates the direction. Now, what does this mean? There can't be all the currents exiting from the node. There can't be all the currents entering the node. With any number of branches connected to a particular node, there must be at least one incoming current and at least one outgoing current. Even if there are 100 branches connected to a particular node, there can be 99 branches entering and only one leaving. There can be 99 branches leaving and there can be only one entering. Okay. So this statement indicates that the sum of all incoming and outgoing currents are same. It means that there must be at least one incoming current and at least one outgoing current. Okay, that is the understanding of KCL. Though KCL appears very simple, but it is very important in circuit analysis, because if KCL gets satisfied, then only everything will be in place. Okay, we'll get to know when we start solving the examples. Okay, next, what is the next law? It is KVL. Can anybody state KVL now? Fundamental statement of KVL. Yes.
The algebraic sum of product of current and resistance is equal to algebraic sum of voltages.
Where?
In the loop.
Open loop or closed loop?
Closed loop, sir.
Yeah. So only I'm telling, fundamental statement should include everything. In a closed electrical circuit or a loop, the algebraic sum of all EMFs and the voltage drops is 0. Okay, we'll rise a little bit higher than the primitive statements, because in 10 plus 2 you studied it as the product of current and resistance. Why can't it be product of current and reactance? Now we have seen reactance also in the circuit, is it? So we will generally take it as a drop. Okay, so the fundamental equation or statement of KVL is, okay, in any closed electric circuit, algebraic sum of all EMFs and voltage drops algebraic sum of all EMFs and voltage drops is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Okay. Now, if I take a circuit okay. So summation V plus summation R is equals to 0. Okay. Summation V plus summation R is equals to 0. Now the question is, again the direction will come into picture, because if both terms are positive and if I add them, I don't get mathematically the result as 0. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So when the result has to be 0 of any addition, sum of the terms must be at least of negative values. Okay. So how to consider that, we should look into. Now, I have this voltage source plus minus terminal A, terminal B. It is the complete recap of your first unit of second semester BEE. Okay, so only I am going a bit fast here, because this is only the brush up required, not the complete explanation. Okay, are you getting the things?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you connecting with the things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I can have VAB and I can have VBA. I can take potential of B with respect to A. I can take potential of A with respect to B. So I want to find the potential difference. Let this be E. Okay, from A to B or from B to A. Now I should be considering the direction. How should be the direction? Okay, so one convention I will be following again here. Fall in potential across any element okay, in the direction of trace Okay, I will take this as negative. Okay, and rise in potential across any element in the direction of trace in the direction of trace, I will take positive. Okay. Now first we should understand what is rise in potential and what is fall in potential. Okay. So here plus sign indicate, yes,
Rise
higher
in potential.
potential, higher potential point.
Higher potential.
Minus sign indicate lower potential point. Okay, higher potential point and a lower potential point. Okay, so in the direction of trace means what? Now if I am tracing the element from A to B, then if the potential is falling, that value of potential I will take it as negative. In the direction of trace, if it is from A to B, if the potential is rising, that potential I will take it as negative, positive. Okay. Now, plus sign indicate higher potential point, minus sign indicate lower potential point. Okay. So this plus sign minus sign indication for the sources is called active sign convention. Okay. Polarity of source, polarity of source is called as active sign convention. Okay, you just remember the term. I will tell what is actually active sign convention and passive sign convention at the later point. Then polarity of sink. Sink is what? Passive element. Source is one which will give out the power. Sink is one which will receive the power. Okay, is called passive sign convention. Okay, active sign convention is independent of the current direction. Passive sign convention is depending on the current direction. Okay, we'll see this further again. So now you observe terminal A is at positive potential, terminal B is at negative potential. It means that terminal A is at higher potential, terminal B is at lower potential. So my VAB is, to get VAB, I am tracing the circuit from A to B. So when I am tracing the circuit from A to B, I am moving from higher potential point to lower potential point. Is it a fall in potential or rise in potential?
Falling.
Yes. And when I am moving from higher potential point to lower potential point, is it fall in potential or rise in potential?
Falling potential.
Fall in potential. So when there is fall in potential, my potential value should be negative. So this is minus. Okay. Now if I trace the same circuit from B to A, I am moving from lower potential point to higher potential point. So it is rise in potential. Hence, this will be plus E. Got it? Okay. Or if you want, we will write it here again. One more note we will write. Higher to lower potential point, that is higher is positive, lower is negative. Higher to lower potential point, this is fall in potential. Okay. And lower to higher potential point, okay, minus to plus, this is rise in potential. Okay. Now, if you remember this right part of this page, you will never do mistakes in writing the KVL and KCL equations, especially KVL equations. So this convention, understanding and remembering is of utmost importance. Now, is it clear? If I trace the source from A to B with A higher potential and B lower potential point, VAB is minus E because it is fall in potential. Okay, this is fall in potential. If I trace the same circuit from B to A, it is rise in potential because B is at lower potential point, A is at higher potential point. Okay, so this is a rise in potential. So I have to take plus E. Okay. Now similarly, if I have the same source A and B with E volts with this sign convention. Now what is VAB and VBA? What is VAB now?
E is at plus E.
Now B is at positive, A is at negative. From A to B, it is lower potential to higher potential point. Hence it is rise in potential. It is plus E. This is rise in potential. Now VBA, from higher potential to lower potential point, it is minus E because it is fall in potential. Okay. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
In understanding the convention, in defining the convention, or in defining the laws? Okay. Yet KVL is not yet complete. We have to still go to the conclusion. We are simply seeing the process now still. We haven't applied to any circuit and we haven't come to any conclusion yet. Yes? Any doubts so far? Any clarifications you need?
No, sir.
Because this part is of utmost importance in this entire subject. You can't afford to make mistakes in understanding KVL and applying KVL. This is we need at every step of our analysis in this subject. Is it fully clear? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then next is what we should see what happens when the element is a passive element. But now the time is up. I cannot continue. In the next class, that is tomorrow's first hour, we will be looking into the passive element sign convention and passive element current direction and passive sign convention, and how to now apply the KVL to this loop or a circuit having active and passive elements both, and how to proceed and how to understand and analyze. Okay. So with this, we'll end today's session.